Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 13th meeting. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. We were coming from another meeting. We ran over a few minutes, and we have a light crowd tonight. We have some board members away on business. So we're going to start off with board committee reports. Lori?
The Waverly PTA hosted FAO Waverly this past Saturday, and it was truly magnificent. Thank you to the Ways and Means Committee, Kathy Belli, Ali Ferrantino, and Alexa Royce for all their hard work, and we look forward to the next events. Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Any other committee reports? No? Okay. Well, we don't have our high school students. I think we're up to you.
Wow,
I know. Fast tonight.
that was fast.
I know.
Okay. What did I bring? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Back one? Yep. Okay, thank you. Okay, good evening. And this evening, I think we have a very positive meeting, as we always do, but it's exceptional tonight. We're going to have our Greenvale School community make a presentation to the entire board and the community. We also would like to learn more about Phase 2 of our construction, and so we have our architect and construction firm here to work with us. And we also have curriculum map presentation from Dr., well, I shouldn't say doctor, right? Almost doctor, ABD doctor from Scott. I did want to make a couple of quick comments, if I may. Since our construction folks are addressing us this evening, we did have them to meet with the entire administrative team yesterday, purposely, so that the administrative team understands, number one, what are the implications of Phase 1, which is completed, Phase 2, construction going forward. But one particular item in particular I'd like to talk about before we get too far into the meeting is asbestos abatement. Now, anytime that is part of a capital project, everyone must be on the alert, because asbestos abatement is probably one of, if not the most serious issues that we have to address. Since we know that this is occurring this summer, we dug into it at that meeting yesterday with our principals, and we've come to these conclusions. At the high school and the middle school, as of June 26th, the abatement will begin, and it will end at the middle high school as of August 1st. So it is really going to be running for about 5 or 6 weeks. At Ann Hutch, we anticipate it beginning again June 26th, but running only about a week to July 3rd. At Greenvale, again on the 26th it starts, and there it's going to be running to basically the end of the week, June 30th. And Waverly is a very small part of it, looks like a one-day only June 26th, 27th event. I do want to make a point that, number one, we believe in the best interests of the safety, health of individuals, and to put everybody at ease. We would like to close these buildings for those periods of time. That is to say that individuals would have to be relocated. Of particular urgency would be our high school, middle school, because it is of extended length. And I've asked each of the principals to come up with a plan on how we would address during those 4.5, 5 weeks the business of the schools that need to be conducted. But I think it would be in the best interest of all if we did not have any members of our staff, any individuals from the community, or anyone else entering or leaving the building, with some very unique exceptions being the principal of the building or certain designated personnel. That would be my strong recommendation, and I'd like to try and develop a plan so we could work around any use of the building during those periods. Furthermore, in terms of working with the town, we would like to continue our relationship, which is a strong one with the town, and accommodate during that period camp usage at our schools when they are not being treated for asbestos. So that is an effort that is afoot. We're working closely with the town officials. We're working with our own school officials, and our own assistant superintendents will form a team to look at each of the schools and can we accommodate our needs. We'd like to mount a summer school effort for ourselves, not just for our special needs pupils, which we always do for 30 days, our extended year, but we also would like to strengthen our regular ed summer school to try and accommodate students K-8 and come out with a plan that would help youngsters with math, ELA, and ELA, another tool in the toolbox that we have. So to accommodate our needs and to accommodate the needs of the town is going to take a good deal of planning, and we'll keep the community informed as we move along. So I did want to announce that prior to our architects coming up, because if you have any questions of them, then obviously it's a good time to bring it up. But at this point, let's talk about PBIS, Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. And we have our exciting principal, assistant principal, and staff. So, Joanna, would you come up here and a round of applause for Joanna? Okay. You're on.
Yes, I will. Good evening, Board of Education members, Dr. Valente, Mr. Nguyen, Dr. Stowell, Ms. Liu, and members of the Eastchester community. I would like to thank you for this wonderful opportunity to present to you this evening on positive behavioral interventions and supports that we utilize at Greenvale. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you part of our PBIS team from Greenvale. Mrs. Caitlin Mondelli, our new assistant principal. PBIS and the new programs that we are going to speak about tonight are a direct result of Mrs. Mondelli's presence at Greenvale. She has spearheaded the PBIS initiatives and committee formation, and we are so fortunate to have her with us this year. Dr. Francesco Bello is our school psychologist and a critical member of our school-based support team. Dr. Bello assists our students with 504s and IEPs through counseling services, socialization groups, and various other small group and individual services. Ms. Rachel Mazarski is our school guidance counselor. Ms. Mazarski helps students build a positive school community through collaboration and conversation, assists students in productively navigating disagreements, and helping to create a positive school environment. She has played a critical role in the delivery of Tier 1 interventions and the rollout of our Second Step program, teaching daily lessons in the classroom. We also have some amazing Greenvale students with us this evening. Please welcome William Tracy from Mrs. Malone's second grade class, Jamie Brecksnyder from Miss Lovecchio's fourth grade class, and Martina Kodra from Mrs. Poli's fifth grade class. I want to thank all of you for being here with me this evening. Positive behavioral interventions and supports is an evidence-based tiered framework for supporting students' academic, behavioral, social, emotional, and mental health. It improves and integrates data systems and practicing effective student outcomes daily. PBIS creates a school environment where all students can succeed. When implemented with fidelity, PBIS improves academic success, social and emotional competencies, and school climate. It is a way to create positive, predictable, and a safe learning environment where all students thrive and succeed. You will have the opportunity to hear about these wonderful programs and experiences this evening. Throughout these past few years, with constant change, it has been my priority to assist our students with navigating their ever-changing school world. By utilizing positive behavioral interventions and supports for all students, we have created a structured and predictable school environment. For example, our simple yet powerful school rules to be safe, be kind, and be responsible can be applied to all aspects of the school day and environments and helps to create a familiar structure for Greenvale students. I'd like to invite Dr. Bello to come speak to us a little bit more about our Greenvale school rules.
Good evening, everyone. So last school year, we had discussed the importance of creating consistency and common language for what is expected of students and staff behavior. We sent blank forms of this matrix to each of the classrooms where students and teachers had the opportunity to brainstorm what each of those areas mean and look like. Then we collected the matrices from each of the classrooms and created a universal matrix based off of the information that we had gathered. This consistency and common language helps the students as they progress in each grade level here at Greenvale. But then we were faced with the next step. How do we convey this information to everyone at Greenvale? So the first week of this school year, I'm going to go back a slide. The first week of our school year, we had a kickoff assembly. And here we had the opportunity to demonstrate and describe what those 3 B's mean. We had our Eagle mascot, as you can see. We had music. We handed out green bracelets like the one that I am wearing right here that say, "I make Greenvale great," and this was given to all students. We had fun, and it was very engaging for everyone. With all of this in place, we also created a PBIS team. This committee is comprised of teachers and staff that are ambassadors to ensuring that we all have a positive school culture. We look to acknowledge the wonderful behavior and work all of our students and teachers are doing. One way we do this is by utilizing shout-outs, and that is a picture right there of what a shout-out slip could look like. Shout-outs are a way for a teacher or a staff member to acknowledge positive behavior demonstrated by a student based off of those 3 B's. The students receive a shout-out slip that indicates what they are being acknowledged for and have their names read aloud during our morning announcements.
So I'd like to speak to you a little bit about 2 of our new initiatives with PBIS. The first one being Eagle of the Month. We recognize and acknowledge students who emulate desired character traits with an Eagle of the Month award. This is aligned to our social emotional theme for that particular month. So for example, for the month of September, the theme was community. For the month of October, the theme was respect and anti-bullying. And this past month's theme was gratitude, showing an appreciation for others and thanking those who have helped along the way. So for the months of October and November, students created videos centered around the theme, which then was shared school-wide. So 5th grade Eagle of the Month recipients for October engaged in a thoughtful tabletop discussion on respect and anti-bullying. They gave sound advice to our younger students on how to be an upstander when faced with bullies at school. This past month, 2nd grade Eagle of the Month recipients interviewed Greenvale staff around our school on what they were most grateful for. And these videos and projects are student-centered, organic, and help to strengthen our school community here at Greenvale. So ideas for these types of videos and projects comes right out of our PBIS team, and we are excited that Going forward, we've invited our student council members, they're fifth graders. They will be a part of our PBIS team going forward to incorporate and acknowledge the students at our school, so to give them voice. I would like to share with you just a snippet of our video that gets shared to school-wide.
William, I am most thankful for three things: my family, my health, and for working here at Greenvale School.
Could you tell me more about that?
Absolutely. My family is one of the most loving and fun families. I really enjoy spending time with them and seeing them. And working here at Greenvale, I get to spend so much time with many students such as yourself and the teachers here at Greenvale School.
That was just a little snippet of our wonderful second grade Eagle of the Month recipients who put that together. So it is my honor and privilege to introduce William Tracy, the young gentleman that you saw in the video, and he is from Miss Malone's second grade class, and he will share with you all his experiences on being Eagle of the Month. William?
Good evening. My name is William Tracy, and I am a second grade student at Greenvale School. At Greenvale, students can achieve the Student of the Month award each month. I received this award for the month of November. The theme for November was gratitude. I earned this award because I am helpful to my friends, kind to others, I listen in class to my teacher, and I try my best in class. This award is important to me because it makes me feel good that my teacher sees how hard I am working in school. Also, my parents are very proud of me. I was also chosen to interview Dr. Bello and ask him what he is grateful for. This experience was a little nerve-wracking, but I had a lot of fun. My favorite part was when we both made mistakes. When we make mistakes, we can learn. We both laughed, had fun, and made a great video. Thank you.
Another new initiative this year is our school-wide Book of the Month program. This idea came out of a summer meeting session with our PTA, and where we discussed a way to bring the school community together, as well as highlighting our social-emotional program. So the book list was curated by our PBIS team, along with the guidance of our AIS provider. And the PTA has generously purchased these books for the year so that every classroom has the opportunity to engage with high-quality text, read-aloud text connected to our SEL monthly themes. So there are accompanying discussion questions based on the depth of knowledge, which can be used across all grade levels and have many access points for our youngsters. These picture books have a central message or theme, which naturally lends itself to rich discussions. I'm thrilled to share with you all that now our fifth grade council members have taken on that leadership role and began reading aloud to our second and third grade classes. So that is something that came out of their thinking, the student council members. So we're really proud that this is one way of forging positive relationships within our school, especially with our older students and our younger students, all while building a positive, welcoming, and affirming learning environment for everyone. And these are our monthly themes aligned to the social emotional learning with the titles.
Good evening. I am excited to present to you about our new mentoring program we have begun here at Greenville this year. Our peer mentors, now called Encouraging Eagles, consist of a selected group of 16 fourth grade students who are positive role models that have the opportunity to work with all the second and third graders at Greenville. These students offer support, guidance, and advice while interacting with the second and third graders during their recess time. They can assist students one-on-one, in a small group, or in a larger group setting, such as playing a type of sport, game, or activity. Our goals for the mentor program are to promote positive outcomes for peer and social connectedness, increase self-esteem among all students, and model and demonstrate positive behaviors and skills for social emotional development. This is also a wonderful opportunity to build our peer mentors as natural leaders through navigating social situations, helping students to problem solve, and overall builds a community of inclusivity. Now, I would like to introduce and give a warm welcome to Jamie Bergschneider, who is currently a peer mentor and will tell us more about the program and her experience of being an Encouraging Eagle.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Bergschneider, and I am a fourth grade at Greenville. I was selected by my teacher, Miss LeBecchio, to be a peer mentor this year. What I love about being an Encouraging Eagle is that we enjoy meeting the younger students at Greenville. I think the peer mentor idea is very fun for all students, and I like to see the other peer mentors bonding and making friends with the second and third graders. A lot of the peer mentors are very excited when they hear they're going outside with them. A lot of the second and third graders enjoy playing with us and using us to help them with games and activities. Sometimes at recess, we notice that the second and third graders have some friendship problems. As an Encouraging Eagle, we help students resolve conflicts and keep them safe, but we just want to have fun. My favorite part about being an Encouraging Eagle is helping the younger students make friends. We get to talk to them about what a friend is and encourage them to meet new people. Overall, the Encouraging Eagles are grateful for this opportunity to unite our school to make it a fun place to learn. Lastly, I'd like to thank Ms. Mazowski for being the best mentor of the mentors. Thank you.
So everyone knows that there's nothing more important than a strong family-school connection. And this is where the Greenville Gazette came from. It's a family newsletter that families receive through Good Day Greenville, which is the principal's newsletter. It highlights Eagle of the Month recipient winners, shout-outs, provides updates on our peer mentoring program, and provides access to our Book of the Month with discussion questions so that families can carry that through at the home. It's a way for Greenville families to stay connected to all things PBIS and to celebrate all the wonderful happenings that's occurring within our school community. So this is just an example of a newsletter that gets sent home. Lastly, we would like to invite Martina Kodra, our fifth grader, to speak and just wrap it up with a nice little bow on the student impact, why we do what we do day in and day out. Martina?
Hi, I am Martina Kodra from Mrs. Polly's fifth grade class. What is the impact of PBIS, you may ask? Well, for me, when thinking of PBIS, I find it an important part in everyone's school life. And to be able to represent and show my experience from it today is amazing. PBIS is more than just a school activity. It is a certain feeling, a value that everyone carries.
From my own experience, being able to be in student council and having a say in all of the wonderful experiences really enhances the ride. PBIS also gives us memories. All students highlight the times we get to do fun activities while learning a lesson to always remember. PBIS is not all fun and games. It also helps with learning. PBIS teaches us emotions and ways to be kind that are not in some everyday textbooks. It shows us how to react in different situations. It also reminds us to have motivation and give respect to others. With this program, everyone cares about each other and are held to the same standards to grow from. It provides a feeling of welcoming, a sense of belonging. PBIS goes above and beyond of any simple rules. It helps us reach our full potential, with making sure an opinion or thought is stated and not hidden because of others. PBIS has built our Greenville community strong, with teachers, friends, and other supporters that are always there for us. I think of PBIS as a little token. I hold it in my pocket. It holds all the memories and skill I need and is a little reminder to keep going. That's my say on PBIS, a hidden prize in everyone's day.
I'm pretty confident that Martina has a future in television, and maybe we can get her a little spot at News 12 and do some positive stuff for us here in Eastchester. So in closing, you can see that PBIS has had a positive impact on every aspect of our school day, from the way that students arrive in the morning ready to learn, to cafeteria and recess interactions, to the creation of a very strong culture of support and recognition at Greenville. Staff are on board with the PBIS school-wide initiatives because they see the benefit of cultivating a welcoming and affirming school and classroom environment. There's also a closer sense of community at Greenville, especially with the upper and lower elementary students. It's evident when we see our student council reading to our second graders and third graders in the building. And also we see students building positive relationships not only throughout their grade level that they're in, but up and down from second to fifth grade, which is really incredible to see on a daily basis in the building. Staff, from teachers to TAs to monitors, all work together in rewarding desired behaviors while teaching into undesired actions using that consistent matrix with consistent language. Everyone at Greenville has ownership in educating the whole child. I want to thank our Greenville students, William Tracy, Jamie Bergschneider, and Martina Kodra for being here with us tonight, as well as Mrs. Mondelli, Dr. Bello, and Ms. Mazarski. It has been a great pleasure to share the positive and supportive culture that is really thriving at Greenville, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. That was amazing. I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say that I thought that presentation was wonderful, and I do hear a lot of these lessons brought home as well from my sons who are at Greenville. And, you know, it seems that a lot of this has not only become a lesson, but become part of these children's character, you know, as we see from William and Jamie and Martina. And I'm sure you guys make your parents very proud, and you made all of us very proud. So thank you guys for your hard work, and thank you for representing Greenville and Eastchester so well.
I think Jackie said it all, but I just want to say thank you for the wonderful presentation, and thank you to the students. We love having the students come and speak to us, and you guys did a great job, so thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful job. Okay, thank you. What about a picture? Yes, yeah, we want a photo. Did the board president want to? Yeah, you can put it on. So before we get to the next item on our agenda, which will be our construction report, I did want to alert the community that our consent agenda will include an extension of Dr. Harry Laub's relationship with the district as the interim principal at Waverly. Harry came here initially with the expectation that it would extend to September, and then we extended it beyond. And he felt that it probably would be extended to December, and now we're extending it beyond. And the latest date we have is March the 3rd. So on the agenda is a resolution and a revised agreement in order to satisfy the commitment that Dr. Laub has initially made and his enthusiasm in continuing with us. So, Harry, would you come forward? And I know you're very excited about continuing as an interim with us. And you've been all smiles all week. So let's give him a big round of applause for saying
I think Dr. Stoll said it best. He said to me the other day, "You're teaching me what not to do in retirement." I thank you. I really appreciate. I appreciate the trust, basically, that I'm feeling for this. You are lending me your children, and it's an honor that you trust me enough to do that, and I thank you for that. And I think it's wonderful, and thank you. I just want to reiterate something that Mrs. Giacobbe said. The event on Saturday was just amazing. I have seen many, many PTA events, and this was beyond the beyond. So really, congratulations to them as well. And I was so thrilled to see the Greenvale kids because I know that our students are going to be going there. And it makes me feel so great to see that that's where things are going to continue, and that's just wonderful. So thank you all very much, and I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Okay, great. Giving a new definition to the word interim, right? Yeah, this seems to be limping. Thank you. Our next group of presenters, I don't think need any introduction. I think you gentlemen have done this before. Our team, our architect, and our construction folk, would you come forward, please, and address the board and the community on what the goals are, okay? Thanks. Yeah, sure.
Good evening. It's good to be here again. We're put together a brief presentation to bring you to where we came from on phase 1 and moving into what phase 2 is going to be. So on the start of the presentation, we brought up some photos to give you an idea of those that haven't seen it. On the top left is the pre-construction. That's what your fields used to look like. And then the turf that was there has been removed, and that shows up in the second photo under construction. The third and fourth photo on the bottom of the slides are what the field is now. The fields received baseball and the softball fields. They received a regrading of the field, a drainage system incorporated into it, new sod, new clay infields. And then in January, we will be looking to install the dugouts, thanks, because they didn't come in yet. So what will happen from here is in the spring, the contractor will come back, roll the field again, roll the infield areas, and it's yours to play on. So it'll be available for your spring season in the baseball. So And there's the scope, the stormwater improvements, the field improvements, parking and paving improvements. What that incorporated is down by, at one of the doors on the lower ramp, it was always flooding in that area. So what happened was we dug up that area, redid the drainage, connected it back in, and repaved that whole ramp area. So right now, you no longer have to put the sandbags in front of the doors to stop the water from coming in. So we've corrected that. So that was done during the So, like I said, the benches and the dugouts are due in for 113. A good time, the field will be frozen at that time, as it is now, and we can, so we don't have to. Original budget on that is $1,155,000 was the original budget. The contract was awarded at $1,078,000. So that was a $77,000 net. So we're in the positive on the phase one, which is a good thing. So that's phase one. We're going to move on to phase two, and I'm going to basically let Daryl talk about scope first, and then we'll get into dollars and the bidding schedule.
So this is what we have in design currently. Actually just last week received the building permits from the State Education Department for this phase two scope of work of the project. Secure entrance vestibules, new entrance vestibules at every school, which include obviously a secure vestibule, a security office where the SRO will stay in, all of the typical new modern measures for security entrances in schools. Also enhancements to the existing security systems at each school, more cameras, camera replacements, card access, occupancy sensors for intrusion detection after hours, public address enhancements, including a new public address system at Waverly, exterior door replacements, doors, door hardware, access control, interior door replacements throughout the district. Every corridor door, including classrooms, will get a new door with intrusion lock sets. So all of the teachers are going to be able to lock the doors from the insides of each classroom as well. And then additional exterior lighting at select buildings really for safety and security at night. Just a couple of visuals so you can some of the work we're doing on the site for phase two. This is the entrance right out here to the high school. We're repaving the existing bus loop as it is now. We're not reconfiguring, but we're cutting in, I believe it's 9 new parking spaces and an ADA handicap parking space, and then sort of renovating the walkways from the one side of the island to the other. And what you'll see is the sort of the ADA crosswalk from the parking spot over to the new main entrance. That'll be where the new main entrance to this building is. The existing entrance will become the ADA entrance, and then the new entrance, which is sort of the cutout between the auditorium and the existing entrance, will be filled in, and that'll be the new secure entrance vestibule for the school. This is the middle school parking lot, full depth replacement of the parking lot, restriping, and then some minor pavement work associated with the curbing. And then this is the athletic field behind this building, a new ADA pathway around the building, or around the track from the parking lot to a new concrete pad, which will have new bleachers on the visitor side of the field.
Basically, the work that is in phase two, the original budget on that was, with the contingencies and escalation, $11,879,000 is our budget. So right now, our projected, where it's coming in, because we're going to be going out to bid soon, is $11,003,000. So we're expecting a good bid opening. I think the climate's right for it, so we're excited about getting this on the street. So like Daryl said, on 12/7, the State Education Department approved the project to move forward and go to bid. So right now, the project is being packaged by both Mamassi and Aris to get it ready to put on the street, and that should be complete by 12/20. Since we're so close to the holidays and nothing really happens during that period in our industry, we're going to advertise the bid and put it on the street for 1/2. So if it goes on the street on 1/2, about 5 weeks to bid it, which is 2/7. We will have then the vetting process, which takes generally a week to 2 weeks to be complete, depending on the contractor. And we're looking for tentative contract awards on your board meeting of 2/28.
So as part of the Phase 2 submission that we just received the building permit for, this was in the 2022-2023 budget. So this was the transfer to capital project, was window replacements at this building, masonry restoration, lintel repairs and replacements. So this is just a visual of some of the elevations of the building and identifying the scope of work where that was submitted to the state along with the safety and security portion of the project, and will be constructed as a separate prime contract, a window work contract, alongside the other work this upcoming summer.
And then moving on, we have in Phase 3, which is the health and wellness. High school with renovation. Dr. Valente, in the beginning of the conversation, brought up the asbestos abatement at the high school. Right now, the asbestos abatement does not. The asbestos abatement we're going to do is not for the work that we are doing this summer. That's to get us prepared for the mechanical work next summer. So your buildings, the challenging part of this project is going to be abating the buildings and then getting the work done and turning them back over to you September. So we've come up with a plan to start abating buildings, portions of the buildings, put them back together so you'll see some new ceilings, new lighting, and new flooring going in. Put the buildings back together, give it to you in September, and start planning for the next season. So that's the end of our pre-presentation. Questions?
Thank you. Questions from the board, please.
Yeah, I have one question that I don't know how late this is in the process, but in front of the high school, behind the flag pole, you show providing a timber fence. And my question is, why timber? Why not vinyl? Is it too late to change that? Could that be like a change order type thing, or?
It was a guardrail, it's a timber guardrail. It's not what was being proposed is something so that the cars don't drive right off
It was
onto
instead of like a concrete curb stop at each space.
Yeah, but the reason I ask is because timber needs to be maintained, and is there some material we could use that we don't have to maintain? Aluminum,
this is
anything else.
They're like 8x8 pressure treated posts that go in there, and the same thing with the rail. We've had success with that. We haven't treated these.
So it's like railroad ties is what you're saying?
Basically, but it's a pressure treated
Okay,
system.
all right, that makes sense. I was thrown off by the wording, that's all. I don't want somebody out there, like painting white
No, you don't
fences
have
every summer,
Just two things really quick. One, thank you both for coming tonight and making the presentation and for bearing with me as the chair of our committee through all of my questions about math and saving money, so I greatly appreciate that. One thing, if you guys, I think, could very briefly, more for the community than for us, we've gotten a lot of questions, I think, from the community at Coffee and Conversation and at the supermarkets and gas stations about the bid process. Right? Because someone's cousin does something that maybe could do it cheaper, and we hear that, but I think if you guys could just briefly explain for the community, because I believe we're being recorded, what the actual bid process is, as succinctly and briefly as possible, that would be fantastic.
Okay, I'll
Thank
try.
you.
The bid process is governed by New York State law. The general municipal law and public bidding laws control what we can and can't do. The project is also under what's called Wick's law. What that does is it says that we have to break this project up into 4 multiple prime contractors. So in doing that, that's the way the project was designed, and that's the way we set up the packaging, so that we can have a general contractor, a plumber, a mechanical contractor, and an electrician. And then on certain projects, like on this one, we took the windows and the masonry project and broke that as a separate prime, since that has a separate funding source. So the project breaks down like that. Everybody, it's a public bid. All are welcome to bid it. The contractors have to be bonded, they have to pay prevailing wage, and there's a series of documents they have to file and be complete with. But it's an open bid, it's a public opening. We collect the bids at a certain time, the district calls time, and we open the bids and read them aloud at that time. The lowest bid, the lowest responsible bidder is the one that you have to award the contract to.
Thank you, very, very helpful. Thank you, appreciate it.
Any other board members would like to ask questions of our team? Okay, well, we want to thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. The next item on our agenda is curriculum mapping. You will recall that earlier in this school year, Scott did talk about curriculum mapping as a goal and indicated that by December, we would have brought it to fruition and ready to move forward. So at this point, Scott is ready to give us a presentation. So Scott, would you lead us through the curriculum mapping and the work that's been done?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. So, as Dr. Valenti said, long awaited, we have come to the point where we're ready to unveil our public curriculum mapping project that we've been working on. And I would say that this is very exciting. This is something that started well over 2 years ago with a motion by the curriculum team to take the great work that's been going on in our district and begin to make it a more public presentation. And then joined with the excellent and really ambitious goals of the board this year to really push that project and to make it a goal to make sure that we have this completed. We are at that time. So what you see in front of you is the public-facing document that will be available starting tomorrow on our website. It'll be linked in 2 places. We'll have something on the home page for a short period of time to kind of highlight the project, but then it will be located directly under the curriculum tab on our website, and this will be available to everyone in the world who would wish to come and see the great work that is going on. Right now, as you can see, each of the curriculum areas broken down by subject area. And I want to stress that this is 100% a work in progress. We have worked really hard, and I want to thank our teachers, and I also want to thank the curriculum team, Susan Chester, Minnie Iannuzzi, and Brad Gitlin for doing a tremendous amount of work to make this happen. But as you can see within each of the subject areas, so I'll just kind of walk us through so you can see what this looks like. So if you hover over any one of the different subject areas, you'll see a tab that shows up that says Show Grades. And if you click on that, you'll see all the different grade levels throughout the district. If you click on any one of these grade levels, so we'll pick grade 5, you will get a menu that pops up and it will show you what curriculum maps are available for grade 5. So we have our general math grade 5. So if we click on that, you will see, and for each and every curriculum map that exists within this software, we have 3 major categories. One being a summary of the class, so a general kind of summary of what is being taught in that class. We have a knowledge section, which talks about kind of what is being taught, the general content within there. And then we have the general skills that are taught within that course. So the hardcore, what students should be able to do at the end of that course. So as you go through and take a look, and I encourage everyone to do so over the next couple of months, it will give you an opportunity. You can see as we go through, when you go to grade 10, there are many more courses. These are many of our high school math courses. And again, if you click on any one of them, you will see a very similar format of summary, knowledge, and skills. And you can go back and see all of the different components that exist within there. We're in the process of updating some of these as we move along. We've gotten, I would say, 95% of the information into the system. One of the areas that we're still working on are some of our support courses, but really all of the major subject areas are in there for public viewing and for public consumption. So as we move through and as we move forward, we'll be looking to expand this information, provide information. We're always looking for feedback, so as people are going through, we are open. Feel free to email myself or any of the curriculum supervisors. And we hope that this provides a new level of transparency into what goes on in our classrooms. I think it's a really nice endeavor, which will provide not only our families that are currently here, but as families move into the district, it provides them with an open view of what's being taught in our classes. And it provides also those that may be looking at East Chester as a potential place to move to with a great view of the amazing things that go on in our schools on a daily basis. I know, Trustee Finelli, there was a question that you had raised. I don't even know if you remember when we first started this project, and you had said, looking at this template, for a family that has a first grader, they have to go and they have to click on English and click on grade 1. Then they have to go to math and click on grade 1. And I raised that with the company that we're working through. And currently it is not in their design to do it that way. However, they loved the idea. They loved the suggestion. They're working with their programmers right now. And we have been promised that we will be their test case, their pilot case. So we've asked them for K through 8 that we have it available in that format where you'll have, instead of an English box, you'll have a kindergarten box, which you will see all of the kindergarten items. You'll have a first grade box. And then for 9 through 12, we will have all of the subject areas because naturally that's much more conducive to that. So I'm hoping, they're not sure when it'll happen, but I'm hoping that will happen soon. I think it'll just provide an easier format for families. But for now, this is the format we have. And like I said, we'll be going live tomorrow. So look forward to having that out there. Any questions?
Matt copyrighted that idea, by the way.
Listen, hopefully it's under the district name. That works too.
Scott, couple of questions and a couple of comments. One, this is great, definitely a step in the right direction. Talking to families and community members, I think the ability to easily go onto our site, right, and actually look at what is the curriculum and also what's the intended outcome of that, I think is really important. Couple of questions. Aside from this being posted up on the website, are there any plans in terms of communicating this information out to families in addition to this, i.e. maybe the newsletter that goes out, et cetera?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd be more than happy to blast out the link to all families across the district tomorrow, kind of rolling it out and saying, here you go, here's the link, feel free to visit, and also mention that it's going to permanently live on our website. Feel free to come back at any time, so we can do that tomorrow.
I think that would be great. And then the only other question I have, Scott, is in terms of kind of the layout and the mapping here, I would imagine even outside of curriculum, but other intended outcomes through, let's say, like the guidance department as an example, my assumption would be this could be utilized for that as well. Right, so you could almost have a tab that says guidance with all of the intended outcomes and what guidance is doing by grade level through middle school and high school, right?
The email actually went to EduPlanet 21 today, asking them to add a guidance tab.
Fantastic.
It's one of those areas, like I said, work in progress. As we began to develop our curriculum maps and began to expand out, we're finding different pieces that, we want to add to this and want to highlight to the community. So guidance was definitely one of those. And as we met the other night for our meeting with the guidance department, it was very clear that that was important and needed to be highlighted in this way. So as the guidance counselors are working on their comprehensive guidance plan for the building, we want to be able to upload those and be able to highlight them as well. So 100%. And if there are things that, as the board is going through, if you find and you say, it would be really nice if we could also include, this or that, please let me know, and we can always look into it and see what we can possibly do.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. I think, for me, being as transparent as possible with parents in terms of what is happening in the classroom, what level should their children be at, is of the utmost importance. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. So thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the presentation.
I got a question. I think this is great. This has been long overdue, and I'm really glad to see it's happening now. My question involves, at some point down the road, and I know not next week, next month, but at some point, will we ever take it to the point where, let's say you have a student in the high school studying geometry, that someone could go on the geometry site and see what's being studied this quarter, what the lesson plans are, let's say for a quarter, a month, a week, or a particular day. I know the teachers have that level of detail, but I'm just asking, is that something that we would ever get to having the ability to put in front of the parents through a website?
So I don't think that we ever had the intention of going down to the daily kind of perspective.
I just went through.
I think that probably the next step in this process, in terms of public consumption, would be going to providing a scope and sequence where there's the kind of the chronological listing of topics. I don't know that it really benefits anyone to get to a granular level, because changes happen on an ongoing basis.
Oh, I know, but
for our teachers.
My question went to, like, if somebody's homesick, that the parents, rather than having communicate directly with the teachers, what are you studying, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week, so that we can do it at home, if that type of information would be available to avoid that contact, or do you feel that the contact is better, that the teacher should talk to the parent?
I think that level of contact is best done between teacher and student, or teacher and parent, especially because of the ongoing changes that happen within the classroom. So I think, having something posted gives people a general idea, but having something as specific as a student being out, I would want that to be a very detailed conversation that happens in the moment.
But I think
rather than,
if you could get the next step being the topics, I think that would be another great step in the evolution of this.
And we have that for many of these courses. We were collecting it along the way. It was just really a matter of getting the major information up. And then as we go, I think that will be the next logical step.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a good first step. And
great job.
As Scott said, it's dynamic, and something that's dynamic evolves into going from the macro to perhaps more aligned with the micro, I think is what you're asking.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. My pleasure.
Yeah. Also, it's an opportunity to announce that we had made a commitment as a school district to have 2 meetings of our newly formed Guidance Advisory Council. And the 2 meetings, one would be by Zoom, the other would be in person. So the first meeting we had committed to doing this month, and I believe is the date December 20th, Scott? We're going to have a Zoom meeting from, 1 to 2 p.m.? I think it's 1 to 2 p.m. And hopefully all the members of our advisory council will be able to join us by Zoom. And then we'll schedule a second meeting in the spring in order to accommodate folks, and that would be probably in the evening or beyond the scope of a normal school day. The agenda for the first meeting will be looking at our comprehensive guidance plan that the board will be asked to approve. We did want the advisory council to review it. That is the purpose of the advisory council. And then based on their reviews and their observations, potential modifications, we would then bring it to the Board of Education in the January, February timeframe for approval. So that group will be meeting later this month on December the 20th, and will report at the January meeting as to what is occurring. The other item I did want to mention is that I'm putting together a survey for our Waverly community. I will be sharing it with the board initially, but it has to do with the busing challenges at Waverly. I think we're all well aware of them, and looking at a potential solution and asking their input on it prior to our making any recommendations publicly. The issue is clear that our kindergarten and first grade students, on average, are sitting on the bus longer than any other student in the district. To be specific, on average 38 minutes, AM and PM. All of the other children in the district, thankfully, are on buses for less than half an hour, some as short as 15, 20 minutes, which is a wonderful benefit. The Waverly children do not enjoy that now, and in the survey we'll indicate options, as always. One option would be to go to three-tier busing. Currently we have two-tier busing. Three-tier would make Waverly, as a district school, have its own buses, which would be the current buses we're using. So it would be within the confines of the current contract, ergo at no additional expense. That is an attraction. The lift on the part of the Waverly community would be starting 15 minutes later and ending 15 minutes later. Currently, I believe Waverly starts at 8:38 in the morning, so add 15 and you're at 8:53, and it ends then 15 minutes later. We'd like to find out what parents, quite frankly, and faculty think about that. Do they agree or not agree, or have an opinion one way or another? The other option, which is keeping the two-tier busing, but contracting for additional buses to the number of 4 and monitors. And that probably would range about $500,000 as an additional price tag from a contractual point of view. So without saying any more, we're giving people the options, weighing the pluses and the minuses, and we'll report back, hopefully in the January timeframe, as to where folks were thinking, what they're thinking about. Ultimately, the board will make the decision, but I think getting input is always helpful in the decision-making process. So that concludes the superintendent's report. If there are any other questions, we'd be happy to address them. Greg, did you have anything for the good of the order that you wanted to address this evening?
Not this evening, thank you.
Not this evening. Lee, anything you wanted to put before us?
No, not tonight, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Back to item number 3, appointment of the district clerk pro tem. Yes, we can do that. So do I have a motion for that? Anyone? Okay, Jackie. You have to read it.
Scott, you're taking notes.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby appoints Dr. Ronald D. Valenti as district clerk pro tem in the absence of the district clerk.
Okay, second. Okay, all in favor? All right. And now we are up to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion for the consent agenda, Matt?
I'll second.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda, which includes the following: 9, approval of minutes; 10, personnel agenda; 11, committee on preschool special education recommendations; 12, pupil personnel recommendations; 13, educational and curriculum and instruction; 14, business office recommendations; 15, other business.
All right, Vito second, and all in favor? Okay. All right, so any comments? Okay, our future meeting dates are January 10th and January 24th, and we are now up to any comments from the public. Any comments this evening?
Colleen Canning, 87 Highland Avenue. I just wanted to thank you for tabling the discussion on the elementary school reorganization plan on behalf of elementary school parents and especially the special needs community. I think that was a prudent, wise decision to push that into the future, if at all. So the kids have been through enough, and I thank you for being responsive to the community's concerns. I think you get a lot of pushback, and there's a big audience when there's an exciting agenda item like that, but it's a little quieter with the holidays, but I do really, truly appreciate your postponing that decision, and I felt it was important to come and say thank you in person. So thank you, thank you.
Quiet this evening? Okay. All right. Any comments from board members?
Only thing is I would say happy and
Yeah.
healthy holidays to everyone.
Likewise, I'm going to wish everyone Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and enjoy it with your families. And I just, on board committees, the first meeting of the Finance Committee is currently scheduled for January 10th at 6:30. If anyone from the community is interested in participating in the Finance Committee, please contact Lee Lou's office and give her your give her a little resume or what you could bring to the table.
Is that a board meeting night, Vito?
It is.
Yes, it is, 6:30, January 10th.
Yeah, because you normally hold executive sessions at 6:30.
Well, I don't know, that was scheduled for that night, so maybe we might have to move it. So I correct myself, but we will be having a meeting.
Well, no, let me ask the question. I didn't realize that. Are you able to meet from 5:30 to 6:30? Which some committees have done. Is
I
that
am, if other people are willing to do it. I don't remember who else is on the committee, but we could do that.
Lee?
And see if that works.
Would
Yeah.
you? If
Yeah,
that's-
Lee,
if
would you
that's
do
okay with
that for us?
Sure. You're the
Hold the
chair,
committee,
right?
and then it would be at 5:30 on that night.
Yeah, and that would make it convenient.
That works.
Yeah,
Sure.
that way you're not out two nights.
I love the idea of one night versus two. And early.
Policy committee is going to meet?
Oh, okay. Yes, our policy committee is going to meet on Tuesday. That's our next meeting.
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday at 6:30.
It's a Zoom meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
That's our Zoom meeting, and I think that's it. And then we're at
And
the
then-
holidays.
Then we're we're into the holidays.
All right, so do I have a motion to adjourn? All right, Matt, do we have a second? All right, all in favor? Okay, thank you, and happy holidays, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Happy holidays, yeah, thank you.
Good evening.
Yeah.